Ulysses. The poem was written in 1833 and it was published in 1842. Alfred Lord Tennyson was a Victorian poet, as you all know. The Victorian age, the span of the age was from 1830 to 1890. These 60 years are commonly called as Victorian period. We shall discuss a little about some features about the Victorian period. Realism versus escapism is a feature. Idealism, conflict between science and religion, love of nature, and the Victorian age was one of the age of energy and resolution. However, Ulysses was the hero of Homer's epic Odyssey. He was originally the king of Ithaca. Ithaca was a rocky island in Greece. Another important point, Homer wrote two epics, one is Iliad, another is Odyssey, and Achilles was the hero of Iliad and Ulysses was the hero of Odyssey. Here, when the poem begins, Ulysses has come back home after 20 years from the Trojan War. Actually, he fought 10 years in the Trojan War and he took another 10 years to come back his native land of Ithaca. His wife's name was Penelope and Telemachus was their son. This is a representative Victorian poem and the poem can also be called a dramatic monologue. And one important thing about Victorian age, the publication of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of the Species, the famous book, was also available in this period. That means also held in this period. So after publication of this book, there was a tension between the scientific thought, there was a conflict between the scientific thought and the people believing with the traditional belief that God created the world, and the scientific thought that man came in the path of evolution. So, next one, another important point you have to remember while reading Ulysses. The spirit and the sentiment of the poem are taken from 26th canto of Dante's Inferno. So these words are the little words about the introduction. So we are moving to text. It little profits that an idle king by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race. Ulysses is saying that it seems to him of no use to spend a life of an idle king in his own hilly kingdom of Ithaca. Steel hearth means an unextinguished fire, and barren crags indicates the stony rocky landscape of Ithaca. So it indicates that the landscape of Ithaca was infertile, not productive. Matched with an aged wife refers to here Penelope. As he has come back home after 20 years, he is saying that Penelope has grown old, Ulysses also has grown old. I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race. Ulysses is saying meet and dole means administer. Unequal laws means the laws made for the uncivilized people. Savage race means uncivilized people of Ithaca. Here may be another reference that Greek laws were unequal. There are several laws, the different laws rather, for the haves means the richest, for the another laws for the have-nots, for the poor and low class people. Next, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. Ulysses is saying the people, uncivilized people of Ithaca, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. They are living a domestic life, useless life after hoarding, eating, sleeping, spending time idly. And they do not know how Ulysses is thirsty for knowledge. What is Ulysses' actual nature? They don't know. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. So Ulysses is emphasizing that he cannot rest from travel. He will drink life to the lees. That means he wants to acquire all the knowledge whichever is available in this world. That means he wants to drink the knowledge of life unto the last, as much as knowledge he can earn. Next. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. All times means every times he had enjoyed greatly and suffered greatly, means he had spent the time in battlefield. He also suffered, he also enjoyed, both with those that loved me alone. Sometimes he has the many people with him, and sometimes he was alone, enjoyed and suffered greatly, very much. On shore and on shore means seashore, you know. And when through the scudding drifts the rainy hares vexed the dim sea. Scudding drifts means the floating clouds. The rainy hares, what is rainy hare? This is important. Rainy hares, look here. Hares, a constellation of stars whose appearance in the sky predicts heavy rains. I have made a little annotation for you. Hares, a constellation of stars, means a group of stars whose appearance in the sky predicts heavy rains. That indicates heavy rains and thunderstorms coming back. Vexed the dim sea means agitated the dim sea. Dim means dark sea. That indicates makes the sea restless. That indicates it will be a thunderstorm and heavy rain. I am becoming a name. Thus Ulysses has become famous. Slowly, after many adventures, Ulysses became a name. That means famous. For always, why he is famous? For always roaming with a hungry heart. Always traveling with a hungry heart. Hungry hearts indicates hunger for knowledge. Much I have seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments. Ulysses is saying that he has seen so many places, so many cities, men, manners, so many countries, so many governments of the countries. Myself not least, but honored of them all. Ulysses met so many countries, so many councils and government. Everybody, everywhere, he is honored. Every person honored him and drank the delight of battle with my peers. He also enjoyed the war with his fellow soldiers and mariners, means with his friends, far on the ringing plains of the windy Troy. Actually, Troy, it is a city in Asia Minor. It was a city in Asia Minor in which the mythical battle between the Greek and Troy happens. It was far from Greece. Look here. A city in Asia Minor celebrated as the scene of the war which Homer has described in his Iliad. This is Troy. So ringing plains means ringing filled with the knowledge of the battlefield. That is ringing. Windy Troy means speed of wind. The wind was blowing heavily there. That's why it is windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met. Look, I am a part of all that I have met. Ulysses is saying that right now I am the product of that knowledge I have gained, that adventure I have gained. Next line is very much important. Yet all experience is an arc. Yet all experience is an arc where through gleams that untraveled world, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. So Ulysses is saying that he has gained much knowledge, but all the knowledge he has gained, he has gathered, is like an arc. That means is like a gap in a huge wall, or is like a little window in a huge wall through which gleams that untraveled world, through which the scene of that untraveled world, that unconquered world, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. Ulysses is emphasizing that all experience he has gathered is like a little window through which he can see the scene of the untraveled world, means unexperienced world, the knowledge which he cannot gather, and the boundary or the limits, means margin, whose margin means whose limits fades, means preceding away forever and forever, always when I move. When Ulysses is going to gather that knowledge, the boundary of the untraveled world, unexperienced world, that boundary is preceding away. A beautiful comparison. Suppose you are standing in the horizon and moving towards eastern sky or western sky. Suppose there is sun in the western sky and you are moving to the sun. It seems to be that the sun is also moving or proceeding away from you. So this is a very good comparison. That means it is impossible to reach or impossible to gather all the knowledge whichever is available in this world. This is very important. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unvarnished and not to shine in use. To rust unvarnished, not to shine in use. Ulysses is again saying it is dull to pause, to stop, to make an end, to rust unvarnished, not to shine in use. Here is a comparison. Ulysses is comparing himself a weapon, suppose a knife or sword, which is not used for a long time. If a sword is not used for a long time, rust will accumulate on it. So that weapon will be rusty and blunt. That will be of no use in time and it will not be shining. But if you use that weapon, that will be useful in the time of any action and it will be shining in use. So is your brain. So is our brain also. If we use our brain, it will be good, it will be working, its performance will be better. But if we don't use it, it will be blunt. So it is a comparison like a sword or some weapon. As though to breathe your life. To breathe your life means just breathing away your life. Life piled on life, this is important. Life piled on life. Where all too little and of one to me little remains. Life piled on life means life after life. If Ulysses is given too many lives, that we are also will be not enough to gather all the knowledge whichever is available in this world. Ulysses is saying that in many lives, if I get many lives, that will be also not enough to gather all the knowledge in this world. And of one to me little remains. and I was given only one life, and I have already spent many years of that life. A little remains. Right now, I have come almost to the end of my life. A little timeline of my life is remaining, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence. Every hour means every time, every moment, every minute is saved from eternal silence. Eternal silence indicates death. He is saying that if you spend a minute in activity, in search of knowledge, in pursuit of knowledge, that is saved from death. Something more, a bringer of new life, new things. Something more means if you spend one moment in bringing new knowledge, that will be better, that will be good, that will bring new things. And that is saved from the jaws of death. Next. And while it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself. And it will be bad for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself. That indicates perhaps Ulysses is saying that 3 suns means he may live another 3 years. 3 suns indicates 3 years. To store and hoard myself, to live myself. And in this grey spirit yearning in desire. Grey spirit indicates the spirit of an old man, grey spirits. Yearning desire means what? The grey spirit has a strong desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star. You can underline this line, this is very important. To follow knowledge like a sinking star, that means ancient Greeks actually believe the star sinks in the Western Sea when they die. Here, just take it very simply, to follow knowledge like a sinking star means to follow knowledge endlessly, limitlessly. That pursuit of knowledge will never be stopped. That pursuit of knowledge can never be easily seized. So we have to follow knowledge continuously throughout our lifetime. We should never stop following the knowledge. Beyond the utmost bound of human thought. He is saying that he will follow knowledge continuously beyond the utmost bound of the human thought. Beyond the human thought. Beyond which a man can think. He will follow knowledge all the time. So, Ulysses, the person, is the symbol of the Victorian knowledge. Victorian passion for knowledge rather. Victorian people had the passion. They had the passion for knowledge. So we will discuss this thing later. When we will discuss this poem, the Ulysses, as a representative poem of the Victorian period. Look. Next. This is my son, mine old Telemachus. This is my son, own Telemachus. Ulysses is saying that this is my Telemachus. So, Telemachus is the name of Ulysses' son. You can see here. Telemachus, the son of Ulysses. And Penelope, the character of Telemachus, is a foil to his father. Why this is a foil to his father? Because Ulysses symbolizes the modern passion for knowledge and scientific thought, new scientific thought, and Telemachus symbolizes the traditional belief and the household duties. Coming to the point, this is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the scepter and the isle. So, to whom I leave the scepter and the isle. Ulysses is giving or leaving the responsibilities of scepter and isle. Scepter means the rod, which is the symbol of kingship, and the isle means the island. He is leaving all these power of the kingship and the island to his own son Telemachus, and he loved him very much. Discerning to fulfill means Telemachus is very much aware to fulfill the household duties. This labor means administering the people of Ithaca and other household duties by slow prudence. Slow prudence means by soft degrees. Slowly, the son of Ulysses, that is means Telemachus, will make the rugged people of Ithaca, means the uncivilized savage people of Ithaca, to a better nation. And Ulysses' son is very much, or should I say that is very much adaptable, very much good for this, is very much able rather for this labor. By slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees. Soft degrees means slowly he will make this, all these rugged people of Ithaca, he will make this good. Subdue them to useful and the good. That indicates already we have discussed. Subdue them means make them easy and make them useful and a good nation. Most blameless is he. This is saying that is most blameless. Centered in the sphere of common duties. And the Telemachus, as I have already discussed, the character of Telemachus is a foil to that of Ulysses' character. That means Ulysses' nature is to pursue the knowledge and go for the adventures, and he wants to escape from this race world to other world in search of knowledge, where Telemachus is exactly opposite of him. Center in the sphere of common duties. Common duties, descend not to fail in offices of tenderness. That means Telemachus is very much good to administer the people of Ithaca and the common duties of the king, and he is very much good. He will not fail in this labor, and in the offices of tenderness means filial duties, he will take care of his mother also and pay meet adoration to my household gods. Pay meet adoration means he will adore the gods and the traditional belief. Household gods, actually the ancient Greek, they had in their home any kind of god they believe. So this is household god, and Telemachus is very much good in doing these domestic duties and adoring this god, etc. When I am gone, he works his work, I mind. Next, when I am gone, he works his work, I mind. That indicates after Ulysses wants to leave, and after his departure, Telemachus will work his work. Means Telemachus will do the duty of the king, and I mind means Ulysses will go again into the sea in search of adventure and knowledge, etc. So this is a dramatic monologue. I have already told you. In the dramatic monologue, the speaker is saying something and addressing some audiences who generally keep silent. Here Ulysses seems to addressing his fellow mariners, fellow soldiers who are keeping silent. They are not getting any joining any conversation with Ulysses. Next, there lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. So in the port, the vessel, the boats and the ships puffs her sails. Sails are filled with the wind. They are ready to, as if they are ready to sail again. There gloom the dark broad seas. Dark broad seas means huge dark seas. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me. My mariners, his friends, his soldiers and mariners who have already toiled, already fought and wrought means worked and thought with me. They have already spent many time A long time they have spent with Ulysses. Sometimes they also revolted against Ulysses. That people, that that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine. That means frolic welcome means that is took light-hearted greetings. Frolic welcome means light-heartedly they took thunder, it's a problems and the dangers, and the sunshine means good weather. Both the hostile weather and the good weather, and opposed free hearts. And opposed means they opposed with the hostile weather, hostile situation. Free hearts, free foreheads means these are bold hearts, bold. Everybody, every member of that mariners who were with Ulysses, everybody were very much bold and very much strong. You and I are old. He is saying that both you and I are old right now. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Saying that we are right now old. Right now we are honorable person. Old age is himself honorable. And old age is tired. Death closes all. And death puts a full stop in everything. But something rather end, some work of noble note may yet be done. Death is inevitable to everybody, but before death, before the end, we have still some time in which we can do some noble work, some work of noble note, some work, noble work may it be done. We can do that, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. Come here. The people who were sided with the Greeks, they had to fight against Troy, and the gods who sided with the Trojans. In the mythological war, in the Trojan war, the gods sided with, God sided with the warring parties. The Greeks had to fight with Venus and Mars. These gods sided with Trojans. Hence, in this mythological war, the gods also take part, and they also sided with the Trojans and the Greeks also. So the people who were Greeks, they had to fight against these two gods also, apart from Troy or Trojans. Coming to the text. So no, these kind of men who are very strong, that also fought against the gods. Next. The light begins to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. These lines show that the description of nature, this depicts the beautiful evening landscape of Ithaca. The rocks means the hills. The lights begin to twinkle means in the evening many lights are coming from the houses which are built on the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs in the time of evening. The day is coming to an end. Wanes means the day is coming to an end. The slow moon climbs means slowly the moon is climbing up. The deep means the sea. Moans round with many voices. That means the sound of the sea. So, come my friends, in this time of evening, Ulysses is inviting his mariners, his friends to come to sail again. Come my friends. Actually, in ancient Greeks, all the sea voyages held in the evening. Come my friends, it is not too late to seek a newer world. He is saying that we have still a time, it is not too late. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. He is here ordering the mariners to sit well in the ship and smite the sounding furrows. Furrows means the hollows between the waves. Smite the sounding furrows means strike the sounding furrows with the oars, the help of oars. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset. And he is saying that he wants to sail beyond the sunset into dark, gloomy sea. And the baths of all western stars until I die. He is saying that, all western stars, the Greek reference, Greek mythological reference, that all the stars sinks into the sea. And he wants to sail beyond them, means endlessly he wants to sail, endlessly he wants to follow the knowledge and adventure. So he wants to sail again with his old mariners. Okay. Next, then what will happen? It may be that the gulfs means whirlpools will wash us down. It may be that we shall touch the happy isles. Happy isles, important. Look at the notes and answers. Happy Isles is a group of small islands off the coast of Africa. The ancient Greeks called these islands as their earthly paradise. And they believed that after death, the good people, the great people went there. The modern name of this island is Canary Isles. So it may be that we shall touch the happy isles, or it may be that the gulfs will wash us down. He is saying that the whirlpool will wash us down, drown them. They might be dead, they might die. Or it may be that they can touch the happy isles, they can reach the happy isles and see great Achilles. Achilles, the hero of Homer's great epic Iliad. Actually, Iliad describes the war in Troy, and Odyssey describes the adventures which the Greeks had to face in the time of coming back, while they were returning from Troy. So Achilles, they believe Achilles actually he was great and the bravest of the Greek heroes, and his body was made look. The hero of Homer's Iliad, Achilles, he was the son of Peleus and Thetis. Remember, he was the bravest of the Greek heroes. His body was made invulnerable except the right heel. Actually, every part of the body except the right heel was made invulnerable to any kind of weapon. Means you cannot cut or make any injury in Ulysses' body except the in Achilles' body except the right heel. So he killed Trojan prince Hector and was slain by Paris. Remember, he was slain by Paris. One important point, Achilles' heel in modern usage, it means a weak point. Achilles' heels means weak point. Whom we knew well. So he is saying that we can touch the happy isles where we can meet Achilles, whom we knew. Whom you knew means we already knew Ulysses as our hero. Though much is taken, much abides. He is saying that much is taken, that means in old age our vigor and youth is already gone, but much abides means still something remains. And though we are not now, their strength which in old days moved earth and heaven. Right now we are old, so we do not have that kind of strength which old age can remove. Already old age had taken the energy and the vigor of us, but we are that people, that which we are. We are the bravest of the heroes. We are the brave mariners. So, one equal temper of heroic hearts. We are very much heroic. We have heroic hearts, strong hearts. That hearts, strong hearts which fought against God. Right now we are old, but we have the strong hearts. Made weak by time and fate. We are made weak by time and fate. In the course of time, we are made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. We are very much strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So Ulysses is emphasizing that it may be that we are that old mariners, we are that old soldiers, and right now we are weak to some extent, but we have a strong will to strive. We can again fight to seek. We can again go out for the adventure. We can again find new knowledge and not to yield. We should not leave anything to destiny. So, thus Ulysses, the text is finished. Next video we will discuss Ulysses as a typical representative poem and how it is a dramatic monologue. We will discuss rather.